It's Martin Luther King Day here in the U.S., so the markets are closed. But I was just looking around at a screen that I have in the Bloomberg launchpad that gives me sort of a snapshot of some different stock markets in countries around the world, and I thought I would share that with you. There are, as you can see, 16 of them here. And starting at the top left, we've got the S&P 500, and these are all 5-year weekly tick mark charts. The S&P 500 has been on a bull run for the last 5 years. You can see that pretty clearly. Right next to it is the Europe. It's a Europe ETF. It's a Vanguard ETF. And as you can see, it started to nose over back kind of May, June of last year, which is about when the price of oil started to nose over too. So, as we walk through this, just keep that in mind. The next one is the Emerging Markets ETF. It's a Vanguard ETF. Just kind of gives me a high-level view of what's been happening in the emerging markets going back several years. Pretty much been trading in a band. Next to that is developed markets, kind of following since 2012 sort of the bull market trend of developed markets, but this started nosing over like we saw at the Europe ETF. Moving down to Japan, you can clearly see the spike thanks to when Abenomics kicked off, but Japan's been trading in a pretty tight range going back about 2 years. Next is China. Been also trading in a range after selling off in 2011. Trying to rally here. Interestingly, today over in China, the Shanghai index is down 8%. They're tightening up margin rules. And the Chinese retail investors trade on a lot of margin, which basically means they lever their positions and so to buy stock. So if they're tightening up the margin rules, what that means is less capital is available to be invested in stocks, and therefore the stock market's off 8%. Next, South Korea, you can see that it sold off pretty sharply there at the end of 2014. Hong Kong's kind of been on a bull run the last couple of years. It more follows sort of developed market trends than emerging market. As you can see, looking straight at the chart right above it versus the emerging market chart. Germany nosed over. This is going to mimic kind of what we saw in the Europe ETF. France, same thing, nosed over in 2014. The UK, same thing. Russia has been on a terrible bear market run going all the way back to 2011. Brazil, same thing. India, interestingly, really started to rally hard. You could see that back in early 2014 as it became clear that Modi's regime would come in, which is more perceived to be more business friendly and more progressive, and the rally has kind of continued. It'll be interesting to see what continues to unfold in India in the years ahead. Canada, they kind of traded sideways through 12 and 13, tried to rally in 2014, but sell off in 2014 as commodities prices have shown a continued weakness and don't look like they're going to rebound. Interestingly, this is also translated in what's happened with the Canadian dollar relative to the U.S. dollar. It's gotten about 20% weaker in the last year and a half or so, and really most of this weakness has come in right through here. Mexico, same thing, another sell-off. So these are, again, 16 quick charts that I can look at through the launchpad screen that I've set up here on the Bloomberg Professional Service. And again, this is a 5-year weekly chart. I can go up here and change this to a 10-year weekly chart, and it will change all of them at once. And so you can quickly get a snapshot of all kinds of different time frames to sort of see what's going on. You can go to a 6-month daily chart as well and sort of zoom in on what's been happening the last 6 months. You can see a lot of softness, a lot of upper left to down right moves through here. The S&P 500's really been volatile. It's China's rallied, and we know that coming back for the last 3 months, but will it break out or will it nose over again? So anyway, that's the sort of look that I wanted to give you this morning.